My name is Adrian, and today I'd like to talk to you about drug addiction. Um, First of all, I just wanted to start off by saying, did you know that there is no such thing as an addiction gene? But it is a brain disease. Drug addiction is a brain disease because the drugs lead to change in the structure and functioning of the brain. But there is no such thing as an addiction gene, which I don't know if some of you knew that. Addiction is defined as a chronic relapsing brain disease that is characterized by compulsive drug seeking and use despite the harmful consequences. So even though you know that it is bad for you, you still, despite those consequences, you still want to go out and use it. It doesn't just change appearances in your teeth and your hair, and with some people the term sunken in because it's like they look like a skeleton. But it can also damage all your internal organs: liver, brain, lungs, throat, stomach. It can also cause hearing loss and kidney failure. It causes damage to also memory and attention and learning in the brain. And of course, it can make you at risk for pregnancy, STDs, HIV, and AIDS. Long-term use results in significant damage even after individual stops using the drug. So even if you use it and then stop using it, even for a really long time, you still will be effective, and you can have permanent defects from drug abuse. Aside from permanent effects of drug abuse, I'm sure everybody knows about withdrawals. So somebody cuts cold turkey, they can get like the shakes or sweating, or they can get irritated and aggravated and angry because they are stopping a daily usage. And you can also, I know with heroin users that they can get the Suboxone treatment, and it helps take away the withdrawal symptoms and the actual craving for heroin, so it helps them get clean. Addiction changes the signals, making it hard for someone to feel okay without the drugs, and that is why there's that common phrase, sometimes relapse is a part of recovery. Drugs don't just affect one person, it also affects society, and it can also affect your family. Society, it affects by, it can be expensive for society to cure, like taxpayer dollars, because you can get the mental illnesses from chronic drug abuse, psychosis, or neurological, and then you can also the counseling and the ER visits and all of that. Families, it's the time and the energy that they're taking from us, and it also is physically and mentally draining as well. And it can also hit our finances pretty hard due to rehabs, counseling, doctors, or a loved one or a parent or even a friend can be an enabler. So constantly giving them money for gas, food, lodging, clothes, even supplying their habits sometimes. I really wish that I could talk about a lot more about drug abuse, because my family has a long line of drug abuse, and in fact one of the main reasons I picked this was because about 6 years ago my dad passed away from endocarditis, which is an infection of the heart's inner lining, and it usually involves the heart valves. And he had got his he was a heroin addict, and he died from using dirty needles, and that's what caused it. And that loss affected our whole family very, very deeply. And I myself have actually only about 6 months, was I in that phase, but it felt like 6 years, and I feel so thankful to be able to experience it. But at the same time, I now also see why people can get so addicted to certain drugs. But that was one of the reasons why I picked drug addiction, and I just hope that you can learn some stuff off this. And the biggest one for me was that there was no such thing as an addiction gene, because I've heard that my whole life. I've heard it because of my family. I have some members that are alcoholics, some that are heroin users, pill addicts, or a little bit of both here and there. So that was really interesting to me, and I hope that you have learned something from this, and thank you.